I will start with the results we have with the first quadrivalent vaccine, which was licensed in 2006. And looking at the results for vulvovaginal disease, and especially high-grade disease of the vulva and the vagina, we saw a 100% reduction of lesions related to HPV 16 and 18. And in this region, almost exclusively HPV 16 is causing the lesions. Meanwhile, we have moved in most countries to the 9-valent vaccine, and comparing the results of the 9-valent vaccine with a historic placebo cohort, we observed the reduction of 95% of disease of the vulva and the vagina. And just looking at high-grade disease, there was even 100% reduction of disease related to the 9 vaccine types of the vulva and the vagina. You all know this graph from the New England Journal, the significant reduction of cervical cancer confirmed by results from Denmark and England, and just a few days ago from Scotland. So we don't have data on invasive vulvar cancer and the reduction after vaccination, but we can make an estimate looking at HPV 16 and the other types causing the cancer. We can see that almost all the types can be prevented by the vaccine. The majority of vulvar cancer is still HPV negative, but in those being HPV positive, HPV 16 is again by far the most dominant type, followed by HPV 33. But we already have results of the reduction of vulvovaginal precancer on the population level from Denmark. So they have excellent registries. And like the results of the cervix and cervical precancer, it has also been demonstrated in Denmark that early vaccination reduces around 90% of the lesions, of the high-grade lesions of the vulva and the vagina. So what is with those already being affected with disease? We could demonstrate within the phase 3 trial of the quadrivalent vaccine that vaccinating women with disease reduces the risk of recurrence. And just looking at the results for the vulva and the vagina, we observed a more than 40% reduction of recurrent disease of the vulva and the vagina. Just looking at the 4 vaccine types of the quadrivalent vaccine, there was a reduction of almost 80% observed. And it also gives a benefit on other locations. So looking at the cervix in the follow-up of those women being treated for vulvovaginal disease, we observed a reduction of more than 40% of both low-grade and high-grade disease of the cervix. So a clinically relevant benefit. There's also one prospective study which was done in Italy, in the region of Tuscany, looking prospectively at the vaccination after the treatment for high-grade lesions of the vulva. Unfortunately, it's not randomized. So women were offered to take the vaccine and they could decide. But comparing the recurrence rates in those being vaccinated, they were below 20%, and 1/3 of those not being vaccinated had a recurrence within the observational period. So summarizing the data we have today about the prevention of vulvar and vaginal cancer and precancer. So we know that the vaccination programs are highly effective, especially when we do it like Portugal. And we know that we have a good protection against vulvar-vaginal disease. And we also see a reduction in recurrent disease, although the data are limited, but it's practice also in our institution to recommend HPV vaccination to those women. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm very proud to be part of this webinar, and shalom to everyone.